What's up, my boomers? It's me, Melanie Mac, here on my new channel, Melanie Mac Go Boom. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I know I look like I got electrocuted, but y'all are getting a very natural Melanie Mac today. I've been straightening my hair for like the past few months, and I feel like it's been getting dry, and so I was just like, you know what? I'm going to give my hair a little bit of a break. I just rinsed it out with water, let it air dry, didn't put no products in it. I'm trying to give it a break, but this is what I'm going with now. If I keep wearing it like this, we'll see. But anyway, yeah, hi. So today I want to talk about Chris Pratt because with the new Thor Love and Thunder trailer dropping, which I did react to that trailer yesterday on yesterday's video. So if you want to see that, definitely go check out my videos there, my recent uploads, because I uploaded it yesterday. But with all that happening, the wokies are all wanting to cancel Chris Pratt again, because they hate him so freaking much, dude. And so yeah, they're at it again. I haven't read all these. I haven't read any of them, actually. I just saw that Master of the TDS, who I followed after seeing this, has compiled a lot of stuff. And so I thought, hey, why not we go over these in today's video? So he says people are trying to cancel Chris Pratt, calling him homophobic and laughing at him being forced to be gay with Thor. This is the audience you wanted, Marvel. All right, let's see what they got to say. This guy, Joey, says Chris Pratt having to play a character who flirts with Thor is exactly the petty revenge and effery I expect from Taika Waititi. RV says, have never watched a single Marvel movie, but I will be watching Thor Love and Thunder solely because I want to see Chris Pratt visibly hold back slurs. While Taika Waititi puts him in the gayest crap ever in HD. Has he even said any slurs? You're just gonna assume that... This is dumb. All right, Zelda's Dominion Anticipator says, when will Chris Pratt begin his unemployment era? I am tired of being white man jump scared by the Marvel fans in my life. Of course, they got to bring race and gender into this. All right, this person says, only Chris Pratt would refuse to have a gay moment with Thor. What a loser. I mean, okay. Michael says, I hate Chris Pratt, but I'll take any gay/bi representation in the MCU at this point. Was that, I don't even know if that was like, I don't know. I don't know if that was intended to be that way or a joke or what, but they're latching onto it either way. Chris Pratt probably was so close to call Taika the F slur during shooting or making Peter kind of gay. Why are people saying, oh, he's going to call them the slur? He's thinking about calling them a slur. I mean, sounds like y'all are the ones thinking about it. All right, why does renowned homophobe Chris Pratt get to work with Taika Waititi while I have to deal with the fact that Taika doesn't even know I exist? What a cruel world. What has Chris Pratt done that's homophobic other than attend a church that is, that does not believe in that or that follows some very traditional Old Testament beliefs? I mean, are you going to call every Muslim person the homophobe as well? I mean, I think for me, when it comes to things like homophobia and all that, it's one thing if somebody doesn't believe people should have rights, this, that, and the other. But if somebody has, especially within their religion, and they feel personally that that's not something that they condone or whatever because of their religion, whichever religion that may be, I think that's a different scenario. Nobody wants to think that people don't approve of their lifestyle, but that's life. There's going to be people who don't. Now, my personal stance on this has always been it's none of my business. and I stay out of it, and I think that's none of my business who people choose or to be with. You know what I mean? Like, if you're, as long as you're an adult, you know, and who you choose to be with and who you're attracted to, because like at the end of the day, we don't have control over who we're attracted to. That's none of my business, and so I keep it that way. And I think when it comes to like my faith and stuff, since I'm a Christian, that's something that I feel like I would need to research more before getting completely conclusive on certain things, because when you look at Old Testament versus New Testament, old law and current law and all that sort of thing, a lot of things have changed, and I do think that this is one of those subjects that is a huge gray area among a lot of Christians. But I just know with the way I live my life, there's a lot of people who don't like it. There's a lot of people who are against Christianity, for example. And there's a lot of people who are against the way I live my life in this way or another way or whatever it may be. And hey, as long as they don't treat me poorly and don't expect me to, you know what I mean? Like, as long as they're not cruel to me, then that's fine. Nobody has to approve of any of that. You know, some people, even within my own faith, like some people are against tattoos. I have tattoos. If there are people who think that tattoos are a sin, hey, that's what they think. I can't get mad at them for that. As long as they leave me alone and don't bombard me and tell me I'm going to go to hell because I have tattoos or something, then hey, think what you want type thing. So that's my stance on this, but let me keep reading some more. Chris Pratt, homophobic, reading the script where Thor flirts with Star-Lord. He had to do it if he wants to eat. Okay? Chris Pratt gives me Vic Mignogna vibes. I don't know how. You know, when you have actors play or voice characters who are canonically gay, but they would go to conventions and claim they aren't because they said so. Like, yeah, I guess Vic did that. That's a whole other discussion. The Vic Mignogna stuff. All right, let's move my camera for a second so I can read some more. F this movie. I'm not giving 1 cent to Chris Pratt. I just know seeing Chris Pratt's face is gonna ruin Love and Thunder for me. Taika Waititi makes Thor and Quill have gay tension. Chris Pratt trying to explode Taika Waititi with his mind. Taika Waititi did this just to make Chris Pratt cry himself to sleep. I know it. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, a lot of hypotheticals. Neat. All right, some more choice takes. Probably last I'm going to do for now. A lot of Chris Pratt hate. Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt. I feel like that was a play on words. Chris Pratt being in it kills the vibe. Sorry. Please stop talking about Chris Pratt. Start talking about Natalie Portman. Blah, blah, blah. See, this is the problem, and I think this is one reason why we're seeing so many people who are against the woke movement, and not only that, but we're also seeing a huge decline in LGBT approval among the general population, even the younger generations. We're seeing it decline, and I think one reason for that is because of these very obnoxious and you know what, a lot of these people are most likely straight saviors. But this obnoxious attitude and this one thing, in my opinion, I think that as human beings, the best that we can expect from people is to be treated equally, okay? And whether or not we are liked or condoned or how we live and what we do with our lives, who we date, who we're with, or any sort of thing of that nature among anything else, we can't force people to all say, hey, you know what? That's great. I completely approve. We can't force people's approval on our lifestyles. Like I say even myself, there's plenty of people who don't approve of the way that I live. So I think when you get to such a forceful place to where it's like, oh, if you don't like what I do with my life, and if that doesn't align with your worldview, then you should get canceled and you should have all these aggressive things said about you or whatever. I think that's where the problem is. I think at the end of the day, we all just need to want just to be treated like human beings and say, hey, like me with my faith, none of these people here, okay? None of these people have to approve of the way I live my life. They don't have to approve of my faith. They don't have to like it, okay? Because you're looking at this, these people will be very judgmental about somebody who lives a Christian lifestyle. They seem to be against that. That's fine. I don't expect them to have to approve of it, and I'm not going to call them a bigot because they are against my faith. Now, I think where the problem is, like I said before, is when you start try to take people's rights away and stuff. And so I feel like that goes with everything. There's going to be people who don't approve of stuff, period. There's going to be people who don't like certain things. People who don't like certain age gaps. They don't like if, people like date younger people, even if they're within legal age, all that kind of stuff. There are going to be constant opinions that people have and constant things that they don't approve of. But at the end of the day, that you can't have everybody's approval on everything. And especially when it comes to religion and things of that nature, you gotta just gotta understand that not every culture is the same. Okay? And as long as they don't expect anybody's rights to be taken away, and as long as they're not disrespecting people, then whatever they believe and is their business. I'm sure there's plenty of things Chris Pratt would not like about my life. But that's fine. I don't need Chris Pratt's approval or validation. I can go on with my life. That's my stance on it. But yeah, this is why if we're going to see, I feel like with the internet, we are starting to see we're seeing a little bit of actual bigotry start to get more spoken out on. And I think it's starting to overcompensate, because I'm starting to see some things where I'm like, oh, I don't know about that, and it's because it's getting to an overcompensation. And if these forceful cancel mob peeps, allies usually, with women, with LGBT, minorities, all this stuff, if they don't shut the freaking crap up, and if they just like lay off a little bit and stop being so aggressive and creating problems that don't exist, and stop trying to cancel everyone and their dog, then if they don't cut that out, we're going to have such a huge overcompensation to where we're going to actually start seeing this stuff come to pass in a real way. And I don't want that. I don't want that as a woman. I don't want that as just a human being. Okay? So, dude, take a chill pill. That's just where I'm at with all this stuff. All right, let me go ahead and read some recent comments from my videos. Visitor said, that was probably the most entertaining retelling of Exodus I have ever heard. And you managed to make the concept of idolatry relatable at the same time. We've had those times where we take our eye off the ball. Fortunately, God will be there waiting for us to return. Thanks for sharing. Thank you so much. Lane says, what the crap, dude? Moses, Exodus chapter 32, verse 21, MMSV, Melanie Max Standard Version. I just had fun paraphrasing that. I need to make my own paraphrased Bible. My own audio book, just paraphrasing my own reading of it. Reality Shifter says, I don't understand how someone can be libertarian but still stigmatize sex work and sex workers at the same time. If you don't think it's healthy, then don't do it. I just think it's hilarious that you came to this conclusion when I very specifically stated I believe in freedom and I believe people should do what they want, but I personally don't see it as healthy. That's literally what I said, but go off, I guess. I also don't think alcohol is healthy, but people should be able to drink it if they so wish. That's where I stand. I'm not going to pretend like I think sex work is healthy. It's not. That's how I feel. But I do believe people who wish to participate in that should be able to do so, because they don't need my validation to do whatever the crap they want to do. Mike says, we all need a Joshua in our lives. Moses is up on the mount for 40 days and nights, and Joshua was right there, just a little lower on the mountain the whole time, never left or anything. I swear, for real, talk about loyal. And ever since I was a kid, Joshua was my favorite person in the Bible. I just think he's great. So yeah. Jacob says, we can look at our own lives where God has worked in us and brought us so far, but we still fail because we are weak, sinful human beings. Thank God for his son, Jesus Christ. Amen. Zero says, watching Mel breaking this stupid trailer down is far more interesting than watching the trailer itself. JC Gregory says, this is coming out in July and they just started marketing. That's not good, in my opinion. But it's not like movies haven't been late to the marketing party before. Alas, I'm not impressed. I do not care for this film. Best Thor film was the first one, through and through. Fight me. I do think that's a bad sign. Any of these movies that have been having delayed marketing and delayed releases and all that lately, within the comic book world, have not been the best. Like, if you look at Black Widow, or the newest Black Widow movie, or Wonder Woman 1984, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it just has not gone the best. Rabnad says, when you talked about how mankind seeks to replace God with a God of his own, it reminded me of how ideologies that seek to take God's place become a religion to them. Beliefs like communism, fascism, Nazism, and socialism are all products of a debased mind. They try and fail to replace Christianity, creating great suffering and death in their wake. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a debased mind to do those things which are not fitting. Romans 1:28. I think you make a lot of good points, and I think that there's so many things that people use to make their own religion. Even if you look at stuff like veganism, for example, it's like, it's amazing the things that any of us can take and turn into a religion of sorts. So something we always have to be mindful of. Infected Chris says, I really loved your breakdown of this verse. Joshua for runner-up MVP behind Jesus. Joshua is the MVP human. Now, Jesus did walk on the earth as a human, but I just, obviously Jesus is God. So that's why I say Joshua is my favorite person in the Bible, because Jesus is above that. But yes, I swear. All right, Bird Up says, my favorite part of today's verse was Moses throwing the tablets down and yelling, what the crap, dude? I swear, though, imagine his frustration for him to have been up there for like 40 days and 40 nights and getting those tablets made by God, talking to God, and going through all this trouble for the Israelites, and then coming down with these precious tablets, creations from God himself. He must have been livid to be like, what the crap, dude? That's how I paraphrase it, with what the crap, dude, because I can't even imagine how upset he must have been. Hyperspace says, is Melanie Mac single and available, or single but not available, or is she on a plural status, not singular anymore? I am single. I've, a lot of y'all know I've been divorced for almost 2 years now. So yeah, speaking of that was a story where, in that kind of situation, because it wasn't a long marriage, it wasn't even a year, I knew it wasn't right, and I just did it anyway. And I prayed about it one day, and I just said, if this isn't for me, and this isn't supposed to be, if I'm not supposed to be in this marriage, please let me know, God. It was literally not even a day after I got my confirmation, and it was inconclusive. Okay. Like, not inconclusive. It was conclusive. It was like, this was all the proof I needed. I'm not going to share gory details and all that, simply because, it involves another person. I don't like to do that, but yeah, that was a big, mistake I made. And I think the biggest problem with that, and even entering in that relationship in the first place, was that I was unequally yoked. And when I first entered that relationship, I was a Christian, and then there was a brief time within that that I wasn't, where where I kind of like turned my back on my faith. I know that didn't help. But yeah, I've learned so much, and now I'm like, I know why the Bible now tells us to not be unequally yoked, and I won't make that mistake again. So yeah, now I'm very single. I would love to find my person, trust me. That the sooner the better, but I'm also at the position to where after going through something like that, I'm extremely picky, because I'm not going to make the mistake and waste more years of my life in something that wasn't meant for me, and in something that doesn't make me happy. Obviously, nobody's perfect, and I can't expect perfection, but there are certain standards that I have, and if those are not met, and if I'm not being treated how I want to be treated, and if I'm not with a true, like, man of God, I don't want it. And all kinds of other stuff as well. You know, we all have our things, like we want to be attracted to who we're with and stuff like that. So that's where I'm at. I want to be with a man who truly walks by faith, and that's hard to find. That, and being attracted to him, and being within a certain age range to where we're like not too far in age difference, and all these factors. It's tough, but I just trust that God will provide, and I'm not going to sacrifice what I need and what I want just so I can be in a relationship. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And it gets lonely sometimes, because like, I don't do casual stuff. I don't do casual dating. I don't do casual hookups. I don't do any of that, because like, that's just not how I live my life. It just goes against my own personal values, and I want to find someone else who also doesn't do that kind of stuff, and that's very difficult. But I know God will provide, and even though that's something that I want sooner rather than later, hey, if I've got to wait years and years and years, whatever, it'll be worth it. God's timing is more important than my timing. So anyway, let me go ahead and get into the verse of the day. I picked Romans 12:2. And the reason why I picked this is it was honestly like a dream that I had last night. It really stood out to me. And I'll dive more into the purpose of it and what I felt like I got out of the dream that I had last night. It says, "Do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewal of your mind, that by testing you may discern what is the will of God, what is good and acceptable and perfect." Now, in this dream, I dreamed about being in a situation where I had to speak out on faith, and the world and a lot of people knowing in the back of my mind that, oh, a lot of people aren't going to approve of me. The world isn't going to like everything I have to say. And I think this really applies to like what I'm going through even with my channel and stuff. And it's tough, because when I make these videos and whenever I bring in the Bible segments and stuff like that, especially, and I really put the focus on that, I know there's going to be people who don't like what I have to say. And I know there's going to be people who are going to judge me. I know there's people who are going to call me names. I know there's going to be people who go to the extremes. I mean, look what we see with Chris Pratt here. Look at how people just go for his throat, when to my knowledge, he hasn't done anything actually homophobic or anything. And correct me if I'm wrong. And so it's just like, just for the church that he attends and his own personal faith, he's being treated like that. And I think that's sad. And so it's also something that I think with my own life is, it's just like with my channel that I make here, and it's tough sometimes. I get people saying things about me, terrible things about me. People try to call me a bigot and all this kind of stuff just because of my faith. And I feel like it can be very, yeah, it's hard. It's hard. It's not fun to have people against you. It's not fun. But I have to keep going. I have to keep going, and I can't get to a point where I'm sugarcoating stuff just so that I make get more approval from other people. I have to be honest. I have to be authentic to what I feel. And when I read stuff in the Bible, I have to be authentic to how I feel it's what it says. And so yeah, in that dream, that's where I was at. In that dream, I like stood up and I did what I needed to do. And that just made me, I woke up and I thought, you know what, I'm really glad I had that dream. I don't know if God gave it to me or not, but it put a lot of things into perspective. And it's like, hey, I hope this helps inspire other people as well, that who are of the faith, that we're not here to please people. We're not here to be people pleasers. We're here to be disciples for God. And however that may look like, it's going to be different for everybody else. I'm not saying every single person needs to be a missionary or every single person needs to make a social commentary YouTube channel and mention Bible verses in it. But, you're going to have your own way that God can use you. But at the end of the day, when I look at my own journey making content online and stuff, yeah, there were times where I felt like I had to be more of a people pleaser so I'd get more sponsors and this and that. And now I'm at the point to where it's like I've taken that risk of just being outspoken now, and it's like I'm glad for it, but it's not easy, and I'm not going to pretend like it's easy. There's so many times where it's like, oh man, I know I'm going to get backlash for this, or if I say this, I could just go with the flow and not deal with this crap, but I can't bring myself to do it. So I'm doing the very best I can, and I can't even stress enough how much I appreciate y'all's prayers, because you leave comments telling me you're praying for me, and it means a lot, because I need it. I need the prayers. I need it to help keep me going. I'm still going to do it. I'm still resilient and all that kind of stuff, but I do need that to help keep me going. I'm telling you, it really helps me a lot. So anyway, that's it for today's video. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me and my crazy hair today. I love y'all so much. I can't say that enough, for real. Thank you so much for everything. I will see you tomorrow. And in the meantime, go boom.